Today, we're talking about treating people in terms of personalized medicine, which means that everybody's different. Everybody has different idiosyncrasies, different genetic background, and we need to prepare our future trainees to be able to function in that kind of an environment.
Obviously, your major priority is how do we make sure that the patients get the best clinical service we can provide to them. And when you're doing that, you can lose your focus on your research, and our program should be very proactive and trying to preserve pathology as a stronghold for biomedical research by allowing residents to continue to do research. And so we came up with this program, which we think is an ideal solution.
Well, PIRRT, or PIRRT, is the Pathologist Investigator Residency Research Training Program. And this program is designed to kind of fast track the combined needs of having clinical training and also having postdoctoral research experience.
What we aim to attract here is the resident who he or she have finished from medical school and they have had the opportunity of having some research background or have a strong inclination to pursue science from prior to medical school experiences. These people then can come in and they utilize the time that is allowed for research within the framework of the board certification of pathology, and also the time that we can provide during fellowship, clinical fellowship, after the pathology residency training, so that they can accumulate close to about 2 to 3 years of research experience within the framework of their pathology training.
And that's what we've tried to develop here in our PIRRT, is that when they come into our residency training, they've just gotten out of their medical school. Now they're maybe only 1 or 2 years removed from their research. They're going to start residency here and have the potential to start their active research again within a year.
You have, during your regular training, you have elective time, but it's not as dedicated and protective as the PIRRT year. So it's really a protected time that you 100% dedicate to research, and I think that's the biggest advantage.
I thought it was really important, if I wanted to continue with research, which I knew I did, it was really important to take time out during the clinical part of training and devote time to research and to kind of examining your plans and your goals for research. And you can't really do that so easily during your standard pathology residency training, usually.
We don't lose sight of the fact we have to train them to be capable clinically. They have to acquire the basic skills that the residency training is intended to give them to perform clinically. That way, when they take their first faculty job, they can independently assume faculty level sign-out responsibility. So that's something in this program where there's a good balance attained.
We don't skimp on any aspect of their clinical training, so they're going to be fully trained, but we've also totally integrated the research training into it so they can get a full postdoctoral research experience in, so that when they get done with their training, they can be already competitive to go into an academic tenure track position where they can be a physician scientist.
As residency program director, I am fully committed to the success of both the PIRRT and the clinical training program for candidates who are recruited to the University of Pittsburgh. I think the uniqueness of our program is a dual commitment to training experts in diagnostic pathology as well as candidates who will be successful researchers.
So for that, we knew we had to support financially, separate time for people who are going to really engage in research and really get trained into future activities that will enable them to function in an environment where very personalized diagnostics become the norm of the day.
All 3 of the PIRRT trainees that have completed our program are now independent faculty members with startup packages at 3 different institutions, and every single one of them is independently funded.
I chose Pittsburgh primarily for 2 reasons. The first was the opportunity to lead the residency program through PIRRT for an unfettered research experience, which in my encounters in the interview process was fairly unique at Pittsburgh. The other reason was for different role models and mentors and how they can help you to identify and carve out your own ideal niche and negotiate your own ideal job.
So one of the things that's unique about our department is the numbers of pathologist investigators, independently funded pathologists that can serve as role models for the trainees coming in.
there was always somebody available to talk to, give me a career advice where I want to be. So it gave me the feeling that they're really genuinely interested in helping young people develop their careers. So I really was able to optimize my training to get where I want to be.
Some candidates have not yet identified their specific research focus, and we are willing to consider them for the PIRRT program, because we understand that people may change their research focus, or there may be a particular mentor that they identify that will redirect their research career.
There's certainly a preference that the trainees work in the department, but it's not discouraged if they find the right match for their future research interest to work with somebody outside the department. So there's many good people to interact with, to collaborate with.
We have so many laboratories in the Department of Pathology here at the University of Pittsburgh, which afford a tremendous variety of research projects. I think it would be very hard-pressed to have someone come in and say they're interested in a very specific area of research that we wouldn't be able to match them with a research mentor.
So in addition to helping the trainee find a good research mentor, they also will pick a longitudinal advisory committee.
There is a group of senior faculty who are making sure that the appropriate steps are taken to ensure their success in both the research and clinical training domains.
We also have a professional development course focused on grantsmanship, and it's designed to teach them how to review and peer critique each other's grants.
Most of us has never written a grant before. It gave us an idea about what reviewers are looking for, how to phrase your proposal to make it attractive to the reviewers and the funding agencies. So it was really helpful that it helped us prepare how to write a successful proposal.
We are very flexible in terms of working with the residents to meet their goals and their objectives, because they're the ones who are trying to become physician scientists with their expertise of training that they want to get, and so we will work with them however we can to make the training ideal for each individual.
So there's a lot of attention paid, as I said, to trying to maximize the yield from the time invested. So when the trainee finishes their residency and fellowship training, if they do a fellowship, they're well positioned to take a first faculty role and become extramurally funded relatively quickly, if they aren't already.
Everyone who I've spoken to or met with really wants to help me succeed in my plans to do serious research down the road.
It's a challenging career, but it is also incredibly satisfying to be able to follow an investigational question into all sorts of new directions that the science leads you to.
I think that people need to understand that how committed we are to this program. We see it as a key kernel core support of our training obligation to the future trainees and to the future practitioners of pathology.